Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of ordering numbers. This is standard 8.2D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 17 off the 2019 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we've got 4 raise times here, pretty straightforward here, except for this little, it's not really a trick, it's more of a curveball. We need to put this in order from fastest to slowest. Some of us might not be used to thinking of raise times like that. We're used to greatest to least or least to greatest. So the fastest person in any race is the person with the lowest time. So let's just go and put least. The slowest is the one with the largest time because they took the most time to finish. So that's going to be one little trick, if you want to call it a trick, is that this is least to greatest. And they didn't give that to you. All of these numbers look like it's going to be 12 something. So you know what? I'm going to set up a number line here. But I'm just going to set it up between 12 and 13 because they're all going to be 12 point something. And in order to compare these, they all need to look the same. I always find that turning them into decimals is going to be the easiest. If not, if you want to do your fractions, you need everything to have the same denominator. That's kind of problematic. And when we're looking at that, take a look. I've already got 2 numbers that are already in my decimals. Now, just to be nice, what I'm going to do, make it a little bit easier for myself, I'm going to line them up nice and neat, and I'm going to extend them to the same decimal place. So 12.8 is larger than 12.09, but it's easier to see that if you make it extend to the hundreds place and you're thinking, oh, 12.80. You can always add zeros after a decimal. And so it is kind of easy to think, oh, 12.8 is less than 12.09, but that's because place value. So just make them all go to the same decimal place, and 80 is definitely larger than 9. So let's just do the rest for, I've got 12 and a half. So that's going to equal 12 point, I mean, we should know what half is, but if for some reason you don't, there's 2 ways to get that into a decimal. You can multiply by 5s, because if you can get any fraction into a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000, you can easily turn it into a decimal. So that's going to be 5/10. Or you can just divide 2 into 1. And you're going to get 0.5, which is the same as 5/10. So let's make that 12.5, but let's do the same thing. Let's put 0.50, just so we can see it a little bit easier. And then we've got this 12 and 2/5. So 12 and 2/5 is going to be 12.2/5. Same thing. Multiply it by 2s if you want to get it into tenths, 4/10. Or you can divide up. 5 goes into 2 0 times. And that's going to be 0.4, no remainder. So that is going to equal 12.4, but let's make it 12.40. All right, so I'm going to put these on our number line here. So I'm just going to, it's not going to be exactly proportional, but I'll just put them in my smallest is 12.09, and that is ln. All right, so I'm just going to put an E right there. So we're looking for ln first. So it could be either B or C. Then I'm going to do my 12.4. And that is going to be Steve. So it's looking like C right now. Then my 12.5 right in the middle. That's Joe. Okay, that's looking good. And then my Patty is going to be closer to 13. That's 12.8. And that is going to be P. All right, so it does look like I've got my list from least to greatest, and that's going to be C.